Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Pig Brain, here today on Doordarshan, and you're watching the first of the national semi-finals of RBIQ. A phenomenal initiative started by the Reserve Bank of India. We are here today after a journey across literally the length and breadth of our country. 62 cities, India's biggest inter-school quiz competition. It simply doesn't get bigger than this. It's an idea that was created by the Reserve Bank of this country to essentially make our young children who study in schools understand banking better, to perhaps learn a few little things about the world of finance before they get to their future, create an atmosphere where we have a future with youngsters who are more likely to make prudent investments. The resultant of all of this is a stronger financial nation called India. A phenomenal idea. If you were to start at school and to build a nation a decade later in terms of financial strength. As we traveled across this country, 62 cities is a large landscape to cover. We actually realize that these youngsters across our country are quite knowledgeable, quite savvy, and quite keen to understand the world of banking, finance, and money management. From here, you're going to witness 4 zonal finals at the national level. With us here today are 4 teams from across the southern zone of India. They have won from their respective locations and then qualified from the South Zone final to be here in the South Zone National 11. 4 finalists. We're going to begin by introducing these 4 teams to you before we get progressing with what we call RBIQ. Sit there, enjoy this outstanding quiz as we enjoy bringing this to you. We'll begin by introducing our teams to you. As our first finalist here today in the first semi-final, we have with us, representing the fascinating city of Chennai, Maharishi Vidyamandir. Representing them, Rahul Humayun and Pranav Hari. Welcome to the 2 of you. And as our next team here today, from the ever-bustling and growing city of Hyderabad, with us from Chaitanya Junior College are Siddharth Rao and Rahul. Welcome to the 2 of you. As our third finalist here today, from the coastal lands of Mangalore, from Sharada PU College, we have with us Shubhash and Trishaj. Welcome to you too. As we move across to the lovely land of Pondicherry, the oceans, the beaches, and of course the talent that they now have in quizzing. Representing them, St. Patrick Matriculation Higher Secondary School. With us here today, Arpan Datta and Jai Krishna. Welcome to the 2. Those then are 4 teams here today. It's time for us to pick action on this quizzing frontier on the first of our rounds in this battle. Time for us to play what we call Piggy Bank. Here it comes. Teams, I'm going to go clockwise on the first frontier of our battle here today. 10 will be the value of a right answer, irrespective of who gets it right. The passing sequence would be clockwise, which means we shall start with Maharishi Vidyamandir and move across to St. Patrick's School. If all of you are ready and raring to go, we'll begin with you. Roughly about 5 seconds will be your duration of time to answer a question. In the first couple of rounds, we do not have the buzzer playing a role. We'll come to that a little later. For now, 10, whoever gets it right. Starting with you, with our first question, all of them appearing on your screen. Here it comes. Developed by a person named Joseph Juran. It's named after an Italian economist. It states that 80% of results are actually attributed to 20% of the causes. What is this created by Joseph Juran? What we're describing here is the name of a principle. Go ahead. What principle am I describing?
Demand and supply.
Principle of demand and supply. Passing you. Thinking way too ahead. Is Chennai moving across to Hyderabad?
Is this Tobin?
Tobin as in Tobin tax.
Yes.
Well, everyone forcing themselves to think from the world of finance as we move across. On the other side, Sharada PU, Italian economist who said 80% of results are attributed to just 20% of the causes.
Us.
Moving across to Pondicherry.
The Pareto Principle.
The what principle?
Pareto.
The Pareto Principle or the Pareto Principle states that 80% of results is a consequence of 20% of causes. First question at the first semi-final, Pondicherry will score the first 10 points. Put your hands together for them. As we move across from the world of Pareto's Principle to our second team on stage. And a question to you, Hyderabad. Here it comes. Introduced by the Reserve Bank of India in 2002, banks and financial institutions are instructed to have in place a policy framework essentially to ensure there is no laundering that happens. What is this that has become more popular by the acronym than the entire term?
Is this the check truncation system?
The check truncation system.
Yes.
Moving across onto the other side is Mangalore.
Know your customer.
Know your customer, or the KYC policy that RBI brought in. Plus 10. As we go across to Mangalore, or Mangaluru as it's called, and a question appearing on your screen now. This was a tax enforced by Peter the Great. He did this after his tour of Western Europe in the 1700s, where taxpayers had to carry a slip for sporting a particular fashion item. What was this item that he decided to tax? Peter the Great, after whom a city has also been named. He decided to tax something, and it had an economic reason, because he felt if it wasn't maintained properly, people would think the economy of that place is bad. So he put a tax on something that would be sported. So if you choose to sport something, you got to pay a tax. Mangalore, trying.
Pass.
Moving across to Pondicherry, if they are trying on this one, Mangalore passing to them.
The tie.
A tie. The manner in which you wear a tie reflects whether an economy is doing well or not. Moving on the other side to Chennai.
Lace, shoelace.
Shoelaces were taxed. Passing you to Hyderabad.
Or the watch.
Tax on watches. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, maybe seated in your homes, you got that right. Believe it or not, Peter the Great decided to tax beards. The beard was a taxed item in those days because he had this belief that if people did not maintain their beards properly, it would mean they don't even have money to buy blades, and it would reflect poorly on the economy of the place. So if you had a beard, you had to pay taxes, and because you didn't want to pay taxes, you would be clean shaven and the place would look better. Well, some thinking in those days in terms of economy. As we move to your question from the piggy bank, and let's see what comes up for St. Patrick's from Pondicherry. While on my lip reading, I just thought Chennai was discussing the beard and the moustache. Well, from your body language, I thought so, but they chose to go with the shoelace, a little too far adrift from the beard. As we cut across to you, Pondicherry, your question on your screen, here it comes. October the 19th, 1987. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 22% on one single day. That resulted in one day being called something. Nobody wants an October 19, 1987 ever again. What was this called?
Black Tuesday.
Passing you and moving across on the other side. I think they were in a little bit of a hurry on that one. Maharishi Vidya Mandir.
Black Friday.
Chaitanya Junior College.
Black Thursday.
On the other side, what's the missing day? Mangalore.
Black Wednesday.
Sometimes in life, you know the drift, but you don't quite get it right. It's a Black Monday. The Black Monday phenomenon, because people digest information over a weekend, and suddenly, when the markets open and so on a Monday morning, you could have, mayhem on the streets, as they would call it. Well, early days at our first semi-final here, young India battling on a new topic in schools these days, banking, finance, and their understanding of those subjects. It's nice to see India groping with these new subjects. Well, they do have their history and science, but I think as a nation we're beginning to understand the importance of learning money management and being prudent about it while still at school. We'll move on to the second frontier from here, and that's going to be money matters. Here it comes. On the second frontier, we're going to go anti-clockwise, and we're going to show you a set of topics that you can pretty much choose from. 10 points would be the value of a right answer. We've got 6 topics for you to choose from, so the last team has a lot of choices to pick from. 10 remains the value. Whatever topic you choose, we throw you a question from that. It could be a visual or it could be text-based. We'll start with Pondicherry. 10 points waiting for you after your preference of choice.
India.
India is your choice, and India it is. Coming up on your screen, here we go. This is the setting up of an institution first mooted by Rai Mool Raj to establish a truly Indian institution of this nature at that time. After a friend of Rai Mool Raj sent out circulars, these 8 people on your screen came together to give India a famous institution. Patrick's from Pondicherry, what started thus? These 8 men with great amount of foresight gave India something for the first time, indigenous so to say.
IIM.
The Indian Institute of Management, passing you to Sharada PU College.
Punjab National Bank.
These 8 people came together to create Punjab National Bank. Plus 10. Very, very good quizzing. Not an easy question, that's a high quality answer. And the next one would be your choice, as we've covered India, and that's turned green.
Institutions.
Institution is your choice. Here we go. Which global institution, known for its role in managing financial institutions, etc., as a consulting service, shares its name with these 2 great men? The name of this international institution comes from these 2 people.
Is it Ernst and Young?
Ernst and Young. Passing you to Hyderabad.
Is this McGraw and Hill?
McGraw and Hill. Be more a publishing company. Chennai.
Goldman Sachs.
Fantastic. That's a lovely answer. Goldman Sachs. Well, I told you, as we traveled across India, we were amazed with the knowledge of finance and banking with our kids across the country. I'm honest, I'd never heard of Goldman Sachs till I finished my management studies. Young India is very different though. As we move on to our team on my right, Hyderabad, take your pick.
People.
People will be your choice. Here we go. By legislation created during the years of the revolution, no living person can be featured on the coins of the United States, so that it is not like a monarchy. There was an exception though to this particular rule when this coin was released in 1926, as indicated on your screen, to celebrate the sesquicentennial of the American independence. Which living American president at the time is on the coin? The only to have this privilege at the time.
Is this Thomas Jefferson?
Passing you on Thomas Jefferson.
I'm going to guess Cleveland.
Cleveland, President Cleveland. On the other side to Pondicherry.
Herbert Hoover.
President Hoover passing across to Mangalore.
Calvin Coolidge.
President Calvin Coolidge, the only one ever to appear on a coin. Mangalore are well prepared. Fantastic! Well, when we prepared these questions, we sometimes think, will young children in schools answer this? They keep proving us wrong, and we feel happy when they do that. As we go across to Chennai, they'll take a choice between Women 2015 and Fiction
2015.
2015. Current affairs on your screen. Here we go. It's an institution that started its operation on the 21st of July 2015 to finance infrastructure projects. It is confirmed that the first loan will be issued to them by April next year, which is 2016, and the issuing currency would be Chinese renminbi. Which institution, World News 2015, are we talking about? Chennai.
AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank.
Passing you.
The New Development Bank.
Well, they get another 10-pointer on that, and 2 rounds of quizzing done here today in the first national semi-final of RBIQ 2015. Time for us to take a look at where the teams stand on what we call the RBIQ quotient. On your screen, here it comes. It seems to be an extremely close battle here today. Sharada PU College from Mangaluru are leading with 30 points at this stage. Right behind them on 20 are St. Patrick's Matriculation School from Pondicherry, and behind them we've got Chennai, the Maharishi Vidya Mandir duo on 10. Hyderabad still to score, but I'm sure as this quiz moves into the next frontier, which would be on the buzzers, they will start moving as well. Moving on to our third frontier here today, the Banker's Bank. Here it comes. From here, life is on the buzzer. Plus 10 if you get it right, minus 5 if you get it wrong. If you press the buzzer while I am reading a question, you are indicating that you know the answer, so I will stop reading the question when you press the buzzer. Plus 10 if you get it right, minus 5 if you get it wrong. 4 questions, common to the 4 teams on stage. Hands on that buzzer. First question to you. Listen to me carefully. Nothing appears on your screen. All you got to do is hear me out and decide when to hit the buzzer. Here we go. Located at 3133 Bishop Gate, the Reserve Bank of India opened an office here on the 14th of October 1935. In April of 1936, it took over from the bank, the Imperial Bank of India, the functioning of the management of the rupee of the country. Which bank managed the custody and currency reserves of the Reserve Bank of India till that time? Which bank managed the custody and currency reserves of the Reserve Bank of India till that time? 1935-36. History of India, history of the Reserve Bank of India. A very famous bank managed the custody and currency reserves of the Reserve Bank of India till then. which world famous bank? Very logical given Indian history. Is someone going to go for it? Plus 10 if you get it right.
Can you repeat the Imperial Bank part?
The Reserve Bank of India opened an office there. It took over from the Imperial Bank of India the function of management of the rupee in the country. Which bank managed the custody and currency reserves of RBI till then? None of them choosing to go on the buzzer. I think everyone wants to get into the national final. Only one team can. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, the Bank of England. Well, that was a tricky one for the teams. They're disappointed. They should have gone for the buzzer on that. As we move to our second question, hands on the buzzer. Under the chairmanship of Professor Umesh Belur of IIT Bombay, a Gyro advisory group was constituted to define a framework that enables the creation of pan-India touchpoints for bill payments by customers. In 2015, RBI granted an in-principle approval to NPCI to function as the central unit for this. It essentially facilitates the payment of bills of multiple billers in one window. Bangalore.
Payment banks.
Well, that's a -5 for you on that. I was looking for a specific answer. I gave you a huge example, or rather, huge explanation. The Bharat bill payment system is what I was actually describing. Will not give it to you for describing the manner in which it can be done. Question number 3, hands on the buzzer. Here we go. Established in 1930 in Basel, Switzerland. It's an organization.
The Bank of International Settlements.
The Bank of International Settlements was started in 1930 in Basel in Switzerland. Pondicherry are well prepared. Put your hands together for them as they get a high quality 10-pointer there. And I've got interesting additional information for you, and it's really interesting. Dr. Raghuram Rajan, the governor of our own Reserve Bank of India, happens to be the first Indian to serve as the vice chairman of that institution. So, Dr. Rajan and the Bank of International Settlements, not difficult for Pondicherry at all, as they get a crucial 10-pointer in this quiz at this stage. The final question. All 4 teams, hands on the buzzer. The Reserve Bank of India made its first issue of currency notes in January 1938, where only currencies of 2 denominations were issued. If one of those 2 denominations was rupees 5, what was the other? Only 2 denominations were issued in India. Rupee 5 and what? Chennai are giving it a go.
100 rupees.
We'll give you a -5 on that. Life was simple in those days. It was 5 rupees and 10 rupees. Well, as simple as that. So they went way too far on a 100 rupee note there. And that -5 will set them back a little bit. Sharada PU have taken a -5 as well. Pondicherry have taken no negatives so far. So they just have probably a razor thin advantage as compared to the others. As we move on to the next frontier of our battle here today, it's time to do some lateral thinking. What you will get on your screen is multiple clues. You got to work the overall answer. +10 when you get it right, -5 if you get it wrong. First one coming up on your screen. Teams, hands on that buzzer. Here we go. Hyderabad are giving it a go. What do you make of it?
Is
it a person? Is it something? Hyderabad on the buzzer.
Is this Amir Khan?
Is it Amir Khan?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
I think he's the brand ambassador of Incredible India.
Amir Khan was a brand ambassador, is a brand ambassador
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Incredible India.
I think he's somehow related to that holy ring, and the other one I'm not sure.
Somehow connected with that film Holy, and
I'm not sure about that.
you're not sure about the A. Well, that is the identity of Amir Khan Productions. Put your hands together for it. He'll get that right. Man who's very passionately promoting Incredible India. We'll give them 10 points on that cracker of an answer. Holy was actually an experimental film in which he happened to appear for the first time, not necessarily as a hero. Here's the next one on your screens now. Mangalore are giving it a go.
The link is the Election Commission of India. What is given is this symbol of the Election Commission, and also what is given is Sukumar Sen, the first Election Commissioner, and Naseem Zaidi, the present Election Commissioner, and the first voter to have voted ever in Indian elections. That's given on the top.
And what's your overall answer?
Election Commission of India.
Outstanding. Outstanding quizzing by Mangalore. You get a high quality 10-pointer on that answer, and that puts them back in the lead. This quiz is really becoming a battle which is going to be more of nerves than of the quality of answers here today, which is being outstanding. Question number 3. Mangalore back in the lead. Pondicherry just behind them. The next question coming up for you now.
Touch and go, let's see, Stuart Broad gathers. No batsman as yet, dives, hits the stumps, where's the batsman? Oh, need to look again.
Stuart Broad stops it, doesn't get the direct hit, he's coming back for the second. Would you believe it? Overthrow gives Netherlands a win.
Hyderabad have given it a go. Famous answer. An institution of great respect. Go ahead. Interesting cricket team on your screen. Netherlands. Netherlands cricket team. Famous person and an identity. You've got to go for it.
Okay, is this the DRS system?
Oh, -5 to them on the DRS system. I think they didn't read through that a little more in detail. Otherwise, they would have got the drift right. They get a -5 on that. The answer that I was looking for is Amul. Amul, interestingly, sponsored the Netherlands team during a World Cup. That, of course, is the great Sylvester Dacuna, who's created those amazing Amul hoardings. And that is the Gujarat Cooperatives logo, which manages Amul in India. What an institution for our country. Well, institutions of repute, like a RBI, Amul. We're a milk surplus country. That's an interesting fact. Question number 4. Hands on the buzzer. Here we go.
You know, I came to Columbia because I knew that there was something else out there. And I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I knew there was something else out there. I wanted to reach out as far as I could while I had the opportunity.
Mangalore are taking a chance. A famous book, a famous person, Niti Aayog.
Arvind Panagaria.
Arvind Panagaria. Explain.
Well, he's the chair of Niti Aayog, and he is a professor at Columbia University, and he has written that book.
Mangalore, I doubt, have been attending school. They've only been preparing for this quiz. A fantastic answer. Excellent quizzing here today by Mangalore. That 10-pointer is going to put them in a very, very good position of comfort. It's going to put an enormous amount of pressure on Pondicherry and the other teams, because we've got one round remaining here, and we're going to take a look at where the scores stand. This 10-pointer could be the tipping point of the first semi-final. It could make Mangalore feel they're just in with a chance to get to that national final. We'll take a look at the scores. Here it comes. Leading this quiz with 45 points at this stage are Sharada PU College from Mangalore. Right behind them, but still locked at 30, and they haven't been able to score in the lateral thinking round, St. Patrick's from Pondicherry. Two other teams will have to really play out of their skin if they are to try and dent these two. I'd like to believe it's a battle between Pondicherry and Mangalore. Two beautiful locations, both with beaches. Which one will go through to the national final? We'll tell you on the other side with the final round coming up. It could be a big battle. It's for them to play around with a few clues and a few boxes. Time for us to play the final frontier. Here it comes. The clue boxes on your screen. Teams, the final frontier comprises of 4 questions. You press the buzzer and get it right, you get a 10-pointer. You press the buzzer and get it wrong, you get a -10. So you will play the game carefully. I'll show you an example on how the clue boxes will appear, after which we will have the actual questions for you. So seated out there at the comfort of your homes, you can crack this one. Originating from the Sanskrit word meaning wrought silver, it's the name of the currency in Seychelles, Sri Lanka and Mauritius as well. Well, boxes there are 5 in number, so you got to figure out an answer which fits the boxes. In this case, of course, I'm sure you cracked the answer seated there. The answer is a rupee. Well, questions on the remaining 4 will not be as simple as the example. Life is a lot more difficult at the first national semi-final. It's going to be a battle between these teams. Hyderabad and Chennai, interestingly, not out of this battle as yet, because the difference is about 30 points. If they can get 3 out of 4, well, you've got a chance to get there. But if you can do 4 out of 4, you would be called the Gary Sobers of the RBIQ this year. For now, the first one, hands on the buzzer. Here we go. Printed in 1968, the 5 lirot currency note is a precursor to the old Israeli shekel. Featured the photograph of a Nobel laureate. Which great Nobel laureate is this?
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein appeared on a Israeli currency note.
Yes.
+10. +10, Hyderabad are not out of the battle. If they can get one more answer right, they're really going to believe they're going to be in striking distance. Is this going to be a dramatic last round that we're going to see? Question number 2. Hands on the buzzer. Here it comes. Named after an underwater missile, it's a stock that has typically fallen substantially in value. Looks like it will continue to fall in value in the immediate future. It's very similar to a battleship hit by this missile. What is this type called?
Is this the torpedo?
These are called torpedoes.
Yes.
And stocks fall, and these are called torpedo stocks, as if they're hit by a missile.
Yes.
+10. Hyderabad have just shot a torpedo in this quiz final. Well, the teams must be wondering what has hit them all of a sudden, as they have moved to 25 in quick time. 2 questions remaining. The battle is far from over. The next one, coming up on your screens. Now, subdivided into 128 dams, the mohr was the currency of this country.
Nepal.
Nepal is your chance. 5-letter answer. Till the 17th century, replaced by another currency. They're taking a big chance, and it could be a big answer for them at this stage. Nepal will give Pondicherry a +10. Sharada PU College are currently on 45. St. Patrick's Pondicherry are on 40. Chaitanya are on 25. I think the torpedo was fired a little late. They probably needed to do that a round earlier. On the final question, I will read out the question. After I have read out the question, only then will the question appear on your screen. All right? Final question. I shall read out the question. Pay attention to what I read out. You can choose to press the buzzer while I am reading a question. That's perfectly entitled to you, but nothing will appear on the screen till I ask for it. Final question will decide which among these two teams will go into the national final. Will it be Mangalore? Will it be Pondicherry? Well, the final question. Hands on the buzzer. Olympic Steel is a US-based steel manufacturer started by the brothers Saul, Morris and Sam Siegel. When the company got listed on NASDAQ, they chose a ticker symbol to honor a god. Olympic Steel was their name. What is their ticker symbol? 4 letters in all. Here it comes on your screen. If you get it right, you will go into the national final. If you get it wrong, Pondicherry will tie with you because you're on 45, they're on 40, and St. Patrick will crash out if Sharada get this right. 4-letter answer, Olympic Steel, NASDAQ ticker symbol. Go ahead, Mangalore.
Zeus.
Spell that for me.
Z-E-U-S.
Z-E-U-S. R-I-G-H-T. Put your hands together for them. Mangalore will go into the national final. They did absolutely nothing wrong in the semi-final here today. With 55 points, they now go in well 15 points clear of Pondicherry. Chaitanya Junior College giving a really good fight back towards the later stages of the quiz, firing a torpedo at the right time, but that 25 was quite not sufficient for them to dent the other two teams. Pondicherry making only 4 attempts during a quiz and getting 4 right answers there. I think they should have taken more chances in a semi-final of this stature. Well, the emotions are visible, it's understandable. 62 cities, everyone wants to be in a national final. But ladies and gentlemen, in that national final, Subhash and Drishaj from Sharada PU College certainly, in my view, had higher quality of answers here today. Especially, in my view, the one that got them in was probably President College, which was an outstanding answer to come from them. That was sheer preparation value. Ladies and gentlemen, after that remarkable national semi-final for South Zone that we witnessed here today, Mangalore going through flawlessly, so to say, really high quality of answers from them. Pondicherry will believe they missed this one. To give away the prizes and to congratulate our 4 first semi-finalists here today, with us is the Chief General Manager of the Human Resource Management Department of the Central Office of RBI. Truly our pleasure and privilege to have amidst us Mr. Murali Radhakrishnan. Please join us on stage, sir. To congratulate our teams. They receive medals from the Reserve Bank of India and certificates, truly prized possessions for them as they advance in their careers, and this would be something that they would want to display for a long time in their lives. Fantastic. As we move across to Chaitanya Junior College, we move across to St. Patrick Matriculation Higher Secondary School from Pondicherry, who finished runner-up here, but they will be disappointed they didn't go into the national final. Well done. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, our champions here today for an outstanding performance will first receive their medals from the Reserve Bank of India. Well done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that then was the first national semi-final of RBIQ, a unique quiz created by the Reserve Bank of India. 4 outstanding teams. Their knowledge perhaps has shaken you a little bit that they're still students between class 9 and 12. Youngsters in India who perhaps prepare for a completely different India that will beckon them in the future. A week from now, we will be back with you with the next semi-final, and you will thoroughly enjoy watching that as much as you did watching this one. But into the national final from the southern zone of India, Sharada PU College from Mangalore. Till we meet again a week from now, from me, Pig Brain, from all of us here today at Doordarshan and the Reserve Bank of India, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.